Hi, my name is Rod Khleif, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Multifamily Rockstars. So as you guys know, this is where we interview people that are just flat out crushing it in this business. And we share the inside scoop as to how multifamily investors are creating massive success in their businesses and in their lives. And as always, I've got my co-host, who's also the director of our massive action team for the Warrior Group, Mark Nagy on. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Rod. I know you just got back from our massive private networking event this past weekend in Phoenix. How did it go? I'm sure tons of relationships being built.
Fantastic. It was fantastic. Yeah, no, it was the, we do a private event once or twice a year for our Warriors, and that's what it was. And there were hundreds of them there, and we had a great time and lots of networking. It's just an extraordinary group. I tell you, I get attorneys and insurance agents and lenders that just talk about the difference between our group versus, other competitors that we have in the business that there's just no comparison. Anyway, well, we've got a great interview today with a gentleman named Jordan Hollis. Jordan is a real estate investor. He's in 63 doors, lives in San Antonio, and I guess I'll leave it at that. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, Rod. Hey, Mark. Good to see you guys. Excited to be here today and provide some value to the listeners out there.
Awesome. Love it. Why don't you give us a little background on who you are, man, where you came from, and kind of bring us to the present day.
Yeah, absolutely. So born and raised in Texas. I went to Texas A&M University, got a degree in construction management. My passion was kind of always building, so the construction industry felt like a great fit. And when I graduated, I went to work for a general contractor, working on some great projects down in Houston, Texas. And my plan was to work for them, climb the corporate ladder, have a 401k, and retire at 55, 58 or whatever the age is, and then move on with my life. But the construction industry is pretty taxing on your home life, the amount of hours and stuff you work. So I'd always kind of had this itch for something more to either build a business, grow something, start something on my own, but just never had the time to do it. And then things really kind of changed in 2019. My wife worked for the same company. She was just promoted. I worked for the same company, and I was about to be promoted. We were building a house, and then a good friend of mine offered me an opportunity to move across the state to San Antonio to become a salesman doing for a home remodeling company. Never sold a thing in my life. Probably the only thing I'd ever sold was for my wife to marry me, and that's probably still the best sell I'll ever make. So, had no experience doing that, and we sat down and talked about it and realized it was a good opportunity. It would help with more time at home. And that was kind of our first big leap of faith that we took. So moved across the state to where we live now. We live in New Braunfels, but I work in San Antonio. And got the sales thing going, kind of got that figured out, leveled off, and, successful at it. And then we decided to open a trash can cleaning business here in town. That was kind of the first, hey, we finally created something that kind of served that itch I had, and then got it off the ground and going. And then after that, I was introduced to Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad book. And after that, it really kind of opened my eyes and my mind to, financial literacy, the importance of having your money work for you and things like that. And so we talked about real estate, and I had always heard about residential real estate. Didn't even know multifamily real estate was a thing for regular guys like me. So the Facebook algorithm started doing their thing, and then this guy named Rod pops up on my Facebook.
Oh, good God, no.
Not that guy.
Yeah. So he popped up and is talking about multifamily investing, and it piqued my interest. And so that's how I kind of found you and found the multifamily aspect.
Wow. Trash can cleaning. I mean,
right.
How the hell do you come up with that one? That's like, what are you cleaning, like commercial trash cans, or what is that?
Residential homes. Basically, we have a specialized truck. People leave their bins on the curb. We come by, we clean them, sanitize them, deodorize them, and we place them back on the curb. The reason that actually started was we had a crawfish boil here, and the trash can smelled terrible. The bags busted.
I got it. I got it. Oh, good God.
We
Good
called
God.
the
There's
guy
no
to come
smell.
out and do it, and they never showed. So we looked into it, did some research, realized there was a demand for it, and so we're like, well, if nobody else is going to do it, we'll do it because we can do it better. So.
Wow. Okay. I would have never thought of that one. I mean, there's a lid for every pot.
Right.
Love it. I know that you've got a 63 unit. Talk about that deal. How'd you find it? Where'd it come from? Where is it? And just give us some detail on that deal. Where's it located? Start there.
Yeah. So it's a 63 unit asset. It's in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
It was a value add play. We went in, we took over it in September of this year, going in, turning units. The rents were about $400 below market. So
wow.
We're going in. Yeah, it was definitely a steal. We're going in, turning units, and we're bumping rents. We're getting, really, really good turns on the rents, and things are or on the units, I should say. And we're able to bump the rents pretty quickly there. So it's going well. I got into that deal by networking.
Right.
Reaching out to, so I'm in the Warrior program, and right. I reached out to other Warriors and things like that. And it just happened by chance. I was talking to a Warrior in Pennsylvania, and he goes, "Hey, do you know this Warrior in Dallas?" I was like, "No, we had never met." So reached out to him, and he was like, "Hey, we're needing to close out our capital raise on our project. Can you raise some capital?" I was like, "Sure." So, that was my opportunity to get in and provide value to the team. And I'm also, at this point, you can't just raise capital for a deal. So I'm also helping with the asset management portion as well. And so,
well, that's your background from your construction experience. Good God. I mean, that lends itself perfectly to asset management. Anybody that's got construction experience is, asset management's probably the best thing for them to be doing on a deal. Love it.
I have a question around that further, because I get asked all the time, like, "Hey, can your guys' community help raise money, bring funds?" That's a big need that I get asked all the time. You mentioned networking. When you did your networking, did you mention that up front, that, hey, I could potentially raise money, maybe that's potentially my skill set? Or did you just focus on building a relationship and then people just came to you and say, "Hey, this is what we needed"? How did that work?
It honestly just started with trying to build a relationship. Reaching out to other people and starting with how can I help them, and then in turn, we had a conversation with this gentleman in Pennsylvania, and I told him, "Hey, we ended up talking about what our strengths are and what we're working on." I told him, "Well, I'm trying to raise capital," and he goes, "Well, that's when he's like, well, I've got this Warrior I met with. He's in Dallas, and I believe they're needing some help capital raising. I should put you in touch with them." And we set up a call, and the rest is history. And I talked to him, he talked to me, we got comfortable with each other, made sure we were in alignment with what our goals and stuff were, and felt comfortable with the deal, and it made sense for us and our investors, and we decided ultimately to join their team.
Nice. So it was an indirect relationship then. It wasn't even directly with the person who was running the deal. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'd never, yeah, exactly. The gentleman that introduced us, he's not even a part of that deal. He had just networked with him previously, and he had reached out to me just to chat and catch up and get to know each other, and then put two and two together.
That is such an incredible example of the power of that group, of the Warrior group, because there's a guy that there's nothing in it for him, but he refers you to somebody because he knows what you're looking for, and that's I think one of the things that makes the group so extraordinary. Now you've only been a Warrior less than a year, right? So like December of last year, I think, is when you joined. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Joined December of last year, and then officially got in this first deal end of August.
Fantastic.
So one thing you mentioned, Jordan, is that you had never really thought about multifamily. That's something I hear all the time, right? Is people think that they can't buy these big apartment buildings. It's for millionaires, billionaires, right? What are some of those mindset shifts that you had to make to get into this and get into your first deal and jump into the business?
One of the big things was overcoming self-limiting beliefs. Just like you said, thinking it's only the millionaires and billionaires and big funds and things like that can buy it. But also, I didn't have the education. I didn't know how it worked. And so once I started seeing, okay, so there's these things called syndications and teams that work together and people that partner and work to their strengths and things like that come together and then take down these deals. I was like, well, I can do that. I work on teams all the time. It's just working with people. I mean, you got to have an understanding of what you're working with, but at the end of the day, it's all people. And construction's the same way. When I started there, I didn't know how to build a building, but I knew how to interact with people and ask certain questions. And everybody pulled their resources together that were good at certain things, and we built a building. And in this case, we're taking down deals. So, it's playing to your strengths. Figure out what you're good at, what you're interested in, and then finding other people that are like-minded, that they have the same end goal, but they can bring their strengths where you may have weaknesses.
That's it in a nutshell right there. You could do my job for me with that statement, because that's really it, man. That's what I'm shouting from the rooftops. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to do it all. You hire a line or partner for the things you're weak in. Love it. So what's been your favorite part of this business so far?
I think my favorite part is, meeting people, seeing how we can help them, and then also just, the opportunities that are there, the opportunities with growth, being able to have your hand in something bigger and building a business. I mentioned earlier that building a business and growing something was always kind of a passion I had. And so that's definitely something that it has intrigued me about it. And it's something I can do with still having a full-time job. I'm able to, my full-time job is my main focus, but I'm still able to do this and be successful at it as well. So, and if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Nice. No, you're absolutely right. Well, let me ask you this: on the flip side, what's the least favorite part of what in what you've been doing so far? I mean, let's hear the good and the bad.
I think the least favorite part would have to be, you just got to get your feet wet, and just like anything new, it takes time, and it can be overwhelming in the beginning, to be quite frank. You don't necessarily know where to start if you're trying to do it on your own, right? I tried that. I tried to, reach out to people and connections that I thought, oh, well, my uncle's a banker. He may know some people who do this, or my other cousin is an appraiser. He may know people. And, I wasn't making any traction. And so that was kind of frustrating and not making any progress. So then I decided to, I need to change my approach, and, ended up getting a mentor and a coach and joining the Warrior program. So that, again, it's a fire hose, but still you have some guidance. So,
yeah.
Now that you've done that, what are some maybe practical tips that you use? Because I know you have 2 kids, you're married, have that job. What are some things that you've done over the period of the last year that have helped you get into this without, making excuses that, hey, I have all these other things, I got to put it on the back burner?
And still having time for your bride and your kids and your full-time job. Talk about how you managed all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not easy. It wasn't easy in the beginning, but I didn't have a process for it. So, when I first started, me and my wife had a conversation of, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. I got her thoughts on it. Well, she bought in, and that was very important to have her support. So I've got that box checked, right? Then it was time blocking, figuring out, okay, these are the tasks I have to do every day. And then this is the time I have to do it. And then what's left over? What can I achieve in that time frame? So time blocking was very, very important. And so that was the kind of the biggest thing. And then again, playing to my strengths to where I could knock out tasks quicker versus trying to do something, that I'm not very good at right now. At least when I don't have all the extra time, I can leave that up to my partners and people who can knock it out more efficiently. And so that was the biggest thing was the time blocking, and then making sure that her goals and my goals were aligned when we started this.
And what were those, by the way? What were those strengths? Was it networking that you mentioned, or was it something else that you initially started with and then you kind of switched?
Yeah, originally I thought I wanted to do underwriting because I liked math, but I quickly realized that that's not my best strength. My best strength is networking, because I'm in sales. I talk to people for a living. So it's the same thing. It's just talking about something different. Instead of talking about remodeling, I'm talking about real estate, and just building a connection, building a relationship, showing them what we're doing, and seeing if it's something that I can help them with, or if it's something they're interested in, and going from there. And then of course the construction aspect, since I have a background in construction, I can go tour properties for my partner who does a lot of the underwriting. I can go tour them, give him feedback on, hey, we need a plan for this for CapEx. We need to look at the mechanical equipment, the electrical, and see where that's at, and put in numbers and things for that to plan for. And, and it kind of feeds back into, being boots on the ground. I loved being boots on the ground in construction. I can go walk these properties, and I enjoy walking them and seeing, the state that they're in, and, that sort of thing. So that way we can plan and really fine tune our underwriting.
No, that's good. I want to circle back to something you said. You had to go to your wife and get her buy-in. And guys, those of you listening, that is a critical piece of this. And in fact, we spend time on it at my boot camps. I literally spend time. I have people talk about how they overcame that hurdle with their spouse, that wasn't as excited about this business as they are, because you've got to have that house in order if at all possible. So that's number one. The second thing you said was time blocking, and that's how you're able to manage the kids, the spouse, the job, the main job, and then this. And if this is something you struggle with, go to rodslinks.com. And at the bottom is my goal setting workshop. At the end of that goal setting workshop, I do my weekly planning process. It's a very powerful way to really organize yourself. And one of the components of that is time blocking. And so it's how I manage two very large companies at the same time, focusing on what's most important. So again, if you go to rodslinks.com, then do that goal setting. You should do that anyway, because how the hell do you get anything if you don't know what it is? So that's critically important. But then stay and do that just as 10 minutes or so, where I describe this planning process. Very simplistic, but incredibly powerful. So I want to throw that out there. So let me ask you this. Obviously, we've got a lot of people listening that know they want to do something. They know they need to do something other than their W-2. It's just not going to give them the life of freedom they're looking for. What words of wisdom would you share with someone that in that situation where you were prior to, taking action on this, joining our program, whatever? It doesn't matter if you joined our program, but actually taking action on this. What would you share with someone that hasn't done that yet? Maybe give them some words of encouragement.
So you kind of touched on it. If you're looking for something new and different, you have to change your approach and do something different. So you have to set up your mind and figure out what you want to do. I did that by setting my goals. And by setting my goals, I wrote them down and put them on the background of my phone.
He's holding up his phone right now. They're on his screensaver. I love that, brother. I freaking love that. Good for you. Okay.
So once I figured out what I wanted to do, I made a plan. I wrote down my goals to help keep me in check, and I look at them every day. And I started studying people that are successful in the things that I want to do. And you've got to have the right mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, it's not easy, because there's things that hit you in life. You get busy, obstacles come up, and discipline and mindset are what's going to keep you moving forward. And so, I really took into furthering my education as far as emotional intelligence, discipline, motivation, and then financial literacy, as I mentioned. And those were kind of the key things that I focused on to really kind of set the base, the foundation for building from there. Because there's days I wake up, I don't want to do my day job, my secondary job, and then real estate, and then be a good dad and a good husband all the same day. There's hardly any days where all of those boxes are fully filled and I have the energy for all of it, until I sit down and remind myself the reason why I'm doing all this, and working hard now to achieve something, so that way you grind for a few years, so that way later on you can have the things you want, be able to help others, give back, and be successful. So you've got to make a decision to move forward, figure out what you want, make a decision, set goals, and then just keep plugging away. And you have to keep making progress, no matter how small, each day.
Man, I need to have you just come start doing my job for me, brother, because you just said it all beautifully. Holy cow, that was perfect. And I love some of the things you said. The why is so freaking critical. I mean, this is why at my boot camps and with my warriors, I spend so much time on this, and that's why they're successful, because they focus on the why, and that's the driver to push through fear, to push through limiting beliefs, to get a little uncomfortable, to create that life that they want and deserve. And I love the fact that you talked about emotional IQ. If you have not taken a look at that or understand what that means, dig into that a little bit, because I will tell you, when you enhance your emotional IQ, you're able to communicate better, you're able to influence people better, and it's an incredibly powerful way to ramp your success. And by the way, if you are interested in our Warrior program, how you apply is you text the word CRUSH to 72345. and we'll check you out. You check us out, and if it's a fit, would they love it if it's a fit, Jordan?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I have no regrets for joining that program.
Right. So again, text CRUSH to 72345 and set up that call, and you'll likely have me at some point on a call. But anyway.
So let's talk about timing. Regardless of the program, let's just talk about real estate timing. Right. We've been talking about opportunities been coming for a long time. And it's already been happening, right? Cap rates have gone up 1.5 points in multifamily, which I think from what I've seen, don't quote me on this, has equated to about a 20% discount in multifamily that's already happening. And just based on experts, 6 to 12 months from now, they're saying, hey, they're guessing that may be kind of the bottom area of multifamily. And if people are looking at single family, they're not seeing that in the single family space. They're looking in the wrong spot. It's happening in multifamily. But for people that are saying, hey, I want to wait until it crashes, hit the bottom before they get started, what sorts of advice would you give to them, Jordan, for people that are thinking that way about multifamily specifically?
So let me give you a real life example. It's not necessarily multifamily, but 2 years ago, coming up on 3 years ago, we decided we were going to build a house after we moved. And this was 2021. Construction prices are jumping up tremendously. I mean, lumber was up 200-300%.
Yeah.
And people were telling me, no, wait. You wait till it comes down. Well, if I would have kept waiting, I would have probably doubled the cost of the build price of my home. And so there's never a perfect time. The perfect time is when you decide you're going to commit to it and move forward and do what it takes to be successful. So right now, okay, the rates are up. It's harder to find deals and things like that. But if you go in and you've got the right education, you've got the right mentorship, people guiding you, and you're being conservative with what you're looking for, and you don't bend on your criteria, then you can find deals and be successful. It doesn't matter what the outside factors are. You control how successful you are. You just you got to set your criteria, get the knowledge, get the education and the guidance, and then go from there. So I would say if you're looking to do this now's as good a time as any. It's better than tomorrow. So.
It's probably, I'm gonna even push back on that. I think it's an incredible time because we're seeing deals right now. I was just telling Mark before we started recording, we've got a deal that was listed at I believe 28 million, and we have a real good shot at getting it at 20, and we're real close on it. And so, but here's the thing, it takes a while to get up to speed. You joined our program back in December of last year. You put this deal under contract in August. So it didn't happen overnight. It took a few months and relationship building and knowledge building and so on and so forth. And that's going to happen regardless of when you come in. And you've got to build the relationships. You've got to start building your knowledge and start sniffing deals and start getting a feeling for this business. And that takes a little time. And so, just because you may be looking at a lot of deals right now, if you don't buy one, it's okay, because every deal you look at, you're getting better, you're learning. So this whole mindset around waiting till it hits bottom is ludicrous, because if you wait till it'll be too late, because when it hits bottom, it's going to come back up and you'll still be trying to get up to speed. So I want to throw that on. The other thing that I really like that you've said some really good stuff, Jordan, is not bending on your criteria. And I tell my students, as my warriors, I told them that you heard me talk about this weekend. I said, do not be aggressive right now. Be conservative. Stick to your guns, and make sure you've got plenty of operating reserves. Don't get stupid debt. All these things. It's not a time to be flexible. It's a time to be firm, because there are deals, and it's a tenuous. The economy's in a little bit of a shitstorm right now, and it's likely to continue for a while. And so, you don't want to be crazy, but I love the fact you said don't bend on your criteria, because that is absolutely critical. It's not a time to go out there and push the envelope, but there are definitely deals already. So,
right, we're seeing that. I mean, we looked at deals earlier this year, and they didn't pencil in, and brokers are coming back to us with the same deal that couldn't close earlier in the year, and it's back on the market now.
Oh yeah,
so
at a discount, or exactly. At a price even below where you were at before, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I saw that with another broker recently, actually. Two brokers that I happen to know. I saw one deal that was with one broker earlier this year. They got fired, and then it came back to me with another broker that they had hired, which I thought was hilarious. And if people think, by the way, that when the market hits bottom, that you're just going to pick up the phone, call a broker, and get a deal on that first phone call, you're sadly mistaken. Now, you mentioned, Jordan, $400 rent bumps. I don't know if you know the numbers off the top of your head. Could you share where you ended up getting that deal at with those rent bumps, projecting what you think the value is going to be when that happens, just so people understand the value of multifamily?
I can do it. I've got my calculator right here. Let's say it's a 5 cap divided by 0.05. That's a $6 million freaking increase in value on 63 units at a 5 cap. Okay. And, you know, Dallas could very well be at a 4 and a 4.5 cap here before too long. And again, so
Yeah,
nice
we're very
job,
excited
brother.
about this deal.
Nice job.
We're very excited about it.
How'd you find it, by the way? How'd the guy that you went and how'd he find it? Was it just a broker relationship? Broker didn't have a clue what he had? Is that what it was, or what happened?
Broker relationships, exactly.
Wow.
I mean, and you kind of mentioned you can't wait until the market hits the bottom to start looking, because whenever I started, I didn't know anything about this industry. I was calling brokers. They weren't getting back to me because they didn't know who I was, and,
Right.
and so I probably sounded green behind the ears and everything when I was talking to them, but I've done it over and over and over again. And you start, they say like, okay, this guy's coming back again. He's back again. He must be serious. And so you got to build those relationships ahead of time, and you got to get a coach. You got to get some sort of guidance, mentor. Doesn't matter who or where. Someone obviously experienced and knows what they're doing, but you have to get that, or else you're just going to be spinning your wheels. And I joined the Warrior program because I was looking to expedite my progress. Could I have done it on my own? Sure, but how long would that have taken me? And I've realized how important time is. I don't have the time to waste and trying to do things when I can find a more efficient way to do it. And so that's why I joined the program, and that's why within 8 months of not having a single bit of experience in this industry, I'm now in 63 doors. I'm sure others have done it faster, but that's why I am where I am.
No, that's well said. Well said. And the other thing is, and I don't care if you join us, but get some help, because it also mitigates mistakes. And there's more zeros on these deals, and mistakes can be debilitating. They can be career threatening. So, you want to have people looking over your shoulder. And that's one of the big advantages of being in a group like this, whether it's ours or somebody else's, is that you have so many people, so many eyes looking at the deal for you. You bounce ideas off each other. It's just an incredible environment. And out of those 180,000 doors I talk about, almost all of them were done between Warriors together, because this is a group initiative. Well, listen, brother, I appreciate you coming on the show. It's great to see you again. Literally, it's been 2 days, but I'm a little wiped out.
You missed me. You had me on here so quick afterwards.
Right. Yeah. Well, I should have waited a couple of days, because I'm still at about 60%. So hopefully the questions weren't too stupid. But anyways, great to see you, my friend, and I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. Thank you for the opportunity to be on here, and like I said, hopefully provide some value to somebody else out there who's looking to make a move. So,
and a quick note before we end it on that topic, that's a good point. That's why I love these Multifamily Rockstars episodes, because people sometimes don't believe that this can be done. And Jordan, you just mentioned that you've done your first deal without any experience. So for the listeners, if you like these episodes of hearing the people that are starting from scratch, any episode, go back that says MFRS. Those are the people that we're interviewing. And so go back and listen to all those if you like that aspect of what we're doing here.
So one other quick thing. We encounter so many people that are frankly frustrated. They're looking in the mirror and they're frustrated that they haven't been able to escape the rat race. They haven't been able to build cash flow to the point where they're able to have financial and time freedom with their families. And maybe they see other people buying real estate and creating, incredible cash flow, and they think, well, it's just scary. Buying apartments is intimidating. And I get it. But see, that's why we created our Warrior Mentorship program. They're our coaching students, and they've had extraordinary results. My students, I've been teaching about 5 years, and they own upwards of 140,000 units now that we know of, right? And we feel like it's just getting going. Now, we're looking to grow this group and really take it to the next level. And honestly believe that the greatest transfer of wealth could be upon us right now with this current economic environment. Everything's going on sale. So we're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework, really like a blueprint or a map, literally step by step. And then they're able to leverage our systems and our incredible network to raise money and equity, to find deals and close those deals and build partnerships, really nationwide. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more in our incredible network and take advantage of the unbelievable opportunities that are upon us, you can apply to my Warrior Mentorship program by texting the word CRUSH to 72345, or you can go to mentorwithrod.com. And what we'll do is we'll set up a call so you can check us out and we can check you out and see if it's a fit. Now, again, you can go to mentorwithrod.com or text the word CRUSH to 72345 to apply, and we will speak soon.